Have you ever found yourself questioning those long-held beliefs about aging? The ones that say you need a bustling social life, a calendar packed with events, and a constant stream of companionship to truly thrive in your later years? Maybe, just maybe, you've started to suspect that the opposite might be true. That shedding the weight of social expectations and embracing a more independent path could be the key to unlocking a newfound sense of joy and purpose. That's what we're diving into today. It might ruffle some feathers, but I believe it's a conversation worth having. We're going to explore the idea that you don't actually need friends after 70. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds lonely. But stick with me. This isn't about advocating for a life of isolation. It's about redefining what true fulfillment looks like in your golden years. It's about recognizing that the quality of your connections matters far more than the quantity. It's about understanding that sometimes the most profound companionship comes from within. In this video, we're going to unearth 6 powerful reasons why friendships might not be as essential after 70 as conventional wisdom suggests. We'll explore how shifting your mindset, reclaiming your personal freedom, and prioritizing your well-being can lead to a richer, more meaningful life. We'll also look at some practical tips for navigating this transition and building a fulfilling life on your own terms. So if you're ready to challenge some assumptions, embrace a fresh perspective, and discover the surprising joys of independence, then let's get started. By the end of this video, you might just realize that letting go of the pressure to maintain superficial friendships isn't just liberating. It's a pathway to a more authentic and vibrant you. Let's kick things off with reason number 1. You've earned the right to prioritize authenticity over approval. One of the most liberating aspects of reaching your 70s is the realization that you no longer need to perform for an audience. You've spent decades navigating social expectations, trying to fit in, and seeking validation from others. Think back to those years. How much energy did you invest in crafting the right image, saying the right things, and pleasing the right people? Whether it was impressing colleagues to climb the career ladder, maintaining a polished social facade to keep up with appearances, or simply ensuring you were always included in the latest social gatherings, there was often an undercurrent of pressure to conform and seek approval. But here's the beautiful truth. You've already earned your stripes. You've weathered life's storms, learned valuable lessons, and accumulated a wealth of wisdom. You've built your legacy, and the opinions of others simply don't carry the same weight anymore. You're at a stage where you can finally shed those old skins and embrace your authentic self without apology. At this age, you've seen enough to understand that true fulfillment doesn't stem from external validation. It blossoms from within, from aligning your life with your core values and pursuing activities that genuinely ignite your soul. You no longer need to chase friendships for status, networking opportunities, or a boost to your social standing. You are who you are, a unique and valuable individual, and you don't need anyone else's permission to be that person. You define your own value, and that definition comes from within. Let me tell you about Harold. Harold, in his early 70s, dedicated his life to corporate success. He was perpetually surrounded by people, colleagues, associates, what he thought were friends. But looking back, he realized those relationships were largely transactional, built on convenience and professional gain rather than genuine affection. The moment he retired, those friendships evaporated like morning mist. At first, Harold felt a pang of loneliness, a sense of obligation to maintain those connections. But then he had a powerful epiphany. Why continue pouring energy into relationships that were only sustained by his career? Why chase after people who were never truly invested in him as a person? Instead, Harold turned inward. He dusted off his old guitar, a hobby he'd abandoned decades ago due to the demands of work. He started volunteering at a local animal shelter, fulfilling a lifelong passion for helping animals. And most importantly, he stopped agonizing over what others thought of him. He found that without the constant pressure of maintaining a large social circle, he felt an incredible sense of liberation. No more forced conversations, no more obligatory social functions, no more sleepless nights worrying about whether he was liked enough. He was finally free to live life on his own terms, driven by his own passions and values. And for the first time in a long time, he felt truly content. That's the essence of this first point. When you stop seeking external validation, you realize how much precious energy you've been squandering on superficial connections. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to measure yourself against anyone else's yardstick. The only person you need to answer to is the incredible individual you see in the mirror. You've earned that right. Now, let's move on to number 2, which builds perfectly on this idea of authenticity. The pursuit of inner peace outweighs the need for constant socialization. As the years accumulate, a profound shift often occurs. The clamor of social life begins to fade, replaced by a deep yearning for inner peace. While in your younger years, being constantly surrounded by people, the lively chatter, the bustling gatherings, the endless flow of conversations, might have felt essential, a vital ingredient for a life fully lived, with time that paradigm can subtly but powerfully shift. You begin to crave something different, something deeper, quiet. But not just any quiet, the kind that allows you to truly connect with yourself, to find solace in your own thoughts, to experience a profound sense of ease, free from the incessant noise of the external world. Many friendships, even the most cherished ones, inherently come with a certain level of responsibility, a tacit agreement that requires your time, your energy, and your emotional investment. There are phone calls to return, invitations to accept, and unspoken expectations to navigate. It's not that friendships are inherently bad. In fact, they can be incredibly enriching and supportive. The truth is, you don't need to feel compelled to spend your precious time trying to keep up with everyone else's expectations. You don't have to feel obligated to be perpetually on call, available at a moment's notice simply because someone expects you to be. You've reached a chapter in life where your time is truly your own, a precious commodity to be guarded and invested wisely, according to your own desires and priorities. The power to choose is now firmly in your hands. Let's consider Margaret, a vibrant 74-year-old who once maintained a sprawling social network. Her calendar was a kaleidoscope of lunches, book club meetings, group phone calls, and elaborate holiday gatherings. But as the years slipped by, she noticed a disconcerting trend. These social interactions, once a source of joy and connection, increasingly felt draining, leaving her emotionally depleted rather than revitalized. The conversations began to feel repetitive, a wearying cycle of the same stories being retold, the same opinions being rehashed. Some friends seemed to call only to offload their burdens of complaints, while others were more invested in circulating gossip than engaging in meaningful dialogue. The genuine joy of companionship had slowly morphed into a rote routine, a social obligation she no longer derived pleasure from. Then one day, Margaret made a courageous decision. She chose to step back. She relinquished the guilt that had long plagued her, allowing herself to say no to invitations that didn't truly spark her excitement. She gracefully released the pressure to respond instantaneously to every call or text message that buzzed on her phone. Instead, she began to consciously cultivate the quiet she had unknowingly been craving for so long. She discovered that the time she had previously devoted to managing her social network, coordinating schedules, attending events, and navigating social dynamics, was now hers to reclaim, to use in any way that resonated with her soul. She started taking longer, more leisurely walks in the nearby nature preserve, allowing the tranquility of the surroundings to soothe her spirit. She rediscovered the simple pleasure of curling up with a captivating book, immersing herself in stories that transported her to other worlds. She spent peaceful afternoons tending to her garden, nurturing the delicate blooms and finding solace in the quiet rhythm of nature. And most importantly, she realized that solitude wasn't synonymous with loneliness. On the contrary, it was a powerful catalyst for self-discovery and inner peace, allowing her to connect with her deepest self in a way she had never thought possible. It was a deliberate choice of calm over the chaos of constant social interaction. That's the profound beauty of this stage in life. You are no longer bound by the perceived obligation to fill every waking moment with activity or conversation simply to validate your sense of connection. You have earned the right to cherish your own company, to find solace in solitude, to nurture the quiet spaces within yourself, without seeking external validation from others. You have the freedom to deliberately choose peace over the incessant pressure to socialize, to prioritize calm over the frenetic chaos of a life constantly lived in the company of others. So if you've ever experienced a twinge of guilt for gently pulling back from certain social obligations, gently remind yourself of this simple, powerful truth. You're not withdrawing from life. You're actively embracing a different kind of fulfillment. You are cultivating the kind of deep, unwavering peace that emanates from within. A peace that doesn't depend on the whims of others. A peace that only gets richer and more rewarding with age. And what could be more valuable than that? All right, let's move on to our next point, and it's a big one. Reduced social circles often equal reduced drama and negativity. Let's be honest, haven't we all experienced friendships that felt more like emotional roller coasters than supportive partnerships? The truth is, while genuine friendships can be a source of immense joy and strength, they can also, unfortunately, become breeding grounds for drama, negativity, and unnecessary stress. As you journey through life, you inevitably encounter different personalities, each with their own unique quirks, habits, and emotional baggage. And sometimes those personalities simply don't mesh well, leading to friction, misunderstandings, and ultimately disappointment. Perhaps you've been caught in the crossfire of petty arguments, forced to navigate awkward social situations, or burdened with the weight of constant complaining and negativity. Maybe you found yourself playing the role of therapist, always listening to others' problems but rarely receiving the same level of support in return. Or perhaps you've simply grown weary of the constant need to manage other people's emotions and navigate the complexities of group dynamics. The reality is that maintaining a large social circle often requires a significant investment of emotional energy. You're constantly juggling different personalities, managing expectations, and mediating conflicts. And as you get older, you might simply find that you no longer have the bandwidth or the desire to deal with all the drama that can come with it. Life is too short to be surrounded by negativity and unnecessary stress. By consciously reducing your social circle, you create space for more meaningful connections with people who genuinely uplift and support you. You eliminate the sources of unnecessary drama and negativity, allowing you to focus on cultivating a more peaceful and harmonious life. Consider the story of Maria, a woman in her late 70s who had always prided herself on her large and active social circle. She was always organizing events, attending parties, and keeping in touch with dozens of friends and acquaintances. But as the years went by, she started to notice that many of her social interactions left her feeling drained and exhausted. There was always someone complaining, gossiping, or stirring up trouble. The constant negativity was starting to take a toll on her mental and emotional well-being. One day, Maria decided she'd had enough. She made a conscious decision to distance herself from the people who brought negativity into her life, and to focus on cultivating more meaningful connections with those who truly supported and uplifted her. She started spending more time with her family, reconnecting with old friends who shared her values, and pursuing hobbies that brought her joy and fulfillment. The results were remarkable. Maria felt lighter, happier, and more at peace than she had in years. She no longer had to deal with the constant drama and negativity that had plagued her social life for so long. She was surrounded by people who genuinely cared about her, and who brought positivity and joy into her life. Maria's story illustrates a powerful truth. Sometimes, less is more. By consciously reducing your social circle, you create space for more meaningful connections and eliminate the sources of unnecessary drama and negativity. You prioritize quality over quantity, choosing to surround yourself with people who uplift and support you rather than those who drain your energy and bring you down. Which leads us nicely to reason number 4. Reclaiming your time allows you to invest in passions and self-discovery. One of the most precious gifts that comes with age is the gift of time. Retirement, while often feared, can be a liberating opportunity to finally pursue those long dormant passions, explore new interests, and dedicate yourself to self-discovery. But this opportunity can be easily squandered if you're still clinging to a social life that demands a significant portion of your time and energy. Think about it. How much time do you spend each week maintaining friendships that no longer bring you joy? How many hours are you dedicating to social obligations that feel more like chores than enjoyable activities? How much of your precious time are you sacrificing to keep up appearances and meet the expectations of others? Now, imagine what you could do with all that extra time. What passions could you finally pursue? What new skills could you learn? What adventures could you embark on? The possibilities are endless. Perhaps you've always dreamed of learning how to paint, but never had the time or the energy to dedicate yourself to it. Or maybe you've longed to travel the world, but were always held back by work and family obligations. Or perhaps you simply want to spend more time reading, gardening, or pursuing other hobbies that bring you joy and fulfillment. By consciously reducing your social circle, you reclaim a significant amount of time that can be invested in these passions and pursuits. You free yourself from the constraints of social obligations, allowing you to design a life that is truly aligned with your values and desires. Let's consider the example of David, a man in his early 80s who had always been a social butterfly. He loved being around people and was always organizing events and activities for his friends. But after he retired, he started to feel a sense of emptiness. He realized that while he enjoyed being social, he wasn't actually pursuing his own passions or interests. He was living a life that was defined by others, not by himself. One day, David decided to make a change. He started saying no to social engagements that didn't truly excite him and began dedicating more time to his own interests. He enrolled in a painting class, joined a hiking group, and started volunteering at a local museum. The results were transformative. David felt more alive, engaged, and fulfilled than he had in years. He was finally pursuing his own passions, learning new things, and connecting with people who shared his interests. He discovered a sense of purpose and meaning that had been missing from his life for far too long. David's story illustrates a powerful truth. By reclaiming your time and investing it in your passions and self-discovery, you can create a life that is rich, fulfilling, and truly your own. You no longer need to rely on others for your happiness or sense of purpose. You become the architect of your own life, designing a future that is aligned with your values and desires. So how do you begin this process of reclaiming your time and investing in your passions? Start by taking an honest inventory of your current social life. Identify the relationships and activities that bring you joy and fulfillment and those that feel more like obligations. Then, consciously start saying no to the things that drain your energy and make space for the things that ignite your soul. Don't be afraid to try new things. Step outside of your comfort zone and explore different avenues for self-discovery. Take a class, join a club, volunteer for a cause you care about, or simply dedicate more time to your hobbies. The key is to find activities that engage your mind, body, and spirit, and that bring you a sense of purpose and meaning. Okay, we're moving right along. Let's jump into number 5. Inner strength reduces dependence on external validation and support. Let's face it, one of the most significant anxieties surrounding aging is the fear of becoming dependent on others. We worry about losing our independence, our ability to care for ourselves, and our sense of control over our own lives. And often we equate a large social circle with a safety net, believing that having plenty of friends will ensure we have someone to rely on when we need help. However, the reality is that true security comes not from the quantity of your connections, but from the quality of your inner strength. When you cultivate a strong sense of self-reliance, you become less dependent on external validation and support, empowering you to navigate life's challenges with greater confidence and resilience. What does it mean to cultivate inner strength? It means developing a deep understanding of your own values, beliefs, and capabilities. It means building a strong sense of self-worth that isn't contingent on the opinions of others. It means learning to trust your own judgment, make your own decisions, and take responsibility for your own life. It also means cultivating resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt to change. When you possess this inner fortitude, you're less likely to seek constant reassurance from others. You trust your own intuition, make decisions based on what you believe is right for you, and don't feel compelled to follow the crowd or conform to social expectations. You also become more resourceful and self-sufficient, finding creative solutions to problems and relying on your own skills and abilities to overcome challenges. Take Sarah, for instance, a woman in her early 70s who had always been fiercely independent. She had a small circle of close friends, but she primarily relied on herself to navigate life's ups and downs. She was resourceful, resilient, and had a strong sense of self-worth. When Sarah's husband passed away unexpectedly, she was devastated. But instead of relying solely on her friends for support, she tapped into her inner strength. She allowed herself to grieve, but she also focused on taking care of herself, maintaining her routines, and finding new ways to engage with the world. She sought professional help when she needed it, but she primarily relied on her own resilience and determination to get through the difficult time. Sarah's story illustrates a powerful truth. True security comes not from having a large social circle, but from cultivating inner strength. When you believe in yourself, trust your own judgment, and possess the resilience to overcome challenges, you become less dependent on external validation and support. You empower yourself to navigate life's uncertainties with greater confidence and independence. Cultivating inner strength is a lifelong process, but there are many things you can do to start building it today. Practice self-compassion, treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Challenge negative thoughts and beliefs, replacing them with more positive and empowering ones. Set realistic goals and celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small. Engage in activities that bring you joy and fulfillment, nurturing your sense of self-worth. And most importantly, trust yourself. Believe in your ability to overcome challenges and create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling, regardless of your social circumstances. And finally, let's discuss number 6, which truly ties everything together. Prioritizing solitude can enhance creativity, mindfulness, and self-reflection. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, solitude is often viewed as something to be avoided, a state of loneliness and isolation. But the truth is that solitude can be a powerful catalyst for creativity, mindfulness, and self-reflection. It's in those quiet moments, when we're free from distractions and the demands of others, that we can truly connect with our inner selves, tap into our creative potential, and gain clarity about our values and goals. When you allow yourself to embrace solitude, you create space for your thoughts and feelings to surface. You're no longer bombarded with external stimuli, allowing you to focus on your inner world. You can explore your emotions, identify your strengths and weaknesses, and gain a deeper understanding of your own motivations and desires. Solitude also provides a fertile ground for creativity. When you're free from the constraints of social expectations and the need to please others, you can allow your imagination to roam freely. You can experiment with new ideas, explore different perspectives, and tap into your unique creative voice. Many of the world's greatest artists, writers, and thinkers have found inspiration in solitude. They use those quiet moments to connect with their inner selves, explore their creative potential, and develop their unique perspectives. Consider the example of Georgia O'Keeffe, the iconic American artist who spent much of her life in the solitude of the New Mexico desert. She found inspiration in the stark beauty of the landscape, using those solitary moments to connect with her inner self and create some of the most iconic paintings of the 20th century. O'Keeffe's story illustrates a powerful truth. Solitude can be a catalyst for creativity, mindfulness, and self-reflection. When you embrace solitude, you create space for your inner world to flourish. You tap into your creative potential, gain clarity about your values and goals, and develop a deeper understanding of yourself. So, how can you incorporate more solitude into your life? Start by setting aside dedicated time each day for quiet reflection. Turn off your phone, close your laptop, and find a quiet space where you can be alone with your thoughts. Meditate, journal, read, or simply sit in silence and allow your thoughts to wander. Don't be afraid to experiment with different forms of solitude. Take a walk in nature, visit a museum or art gallery, or simply spend an afternoon at home alone. The key is to find activities that allow you to connect with your inner self and tap into your creative potential. So as we begin to wrap up this discussion, let's just recap those 6 powerful points, shall we? We talked about prioritizing authenticity over approval, releasing the need to perform for others and embracing your true self, the pursuit of inner peace, outweighing the need for constant socialization, choosing calm and quiet over the demands of a busy social life, reduced social circles often equaling reduced drama and negativity, eliminating toxic relationships and cultivating more positive connections, reclaiming your time, allowing you to invest in passions and self-discovery, pursuing long-dormant interests and exploring new horizons, inner strength, reducing dependence on external validation and support, building self-reliance and confidence in your own abilities, prioritizing solitude, enhancing creativity, mindfulness, and self-reflection, embracing those quiet moments for self-discovery and personal growth. Remember, this isn't about becoming a hermit or shunning all social interaction. It's about making conscious choices about how you spend your time and energy, prioritizing relationships and activities that truly bring you joy and fulfillment, and embracing the freedom to live life on your own terms. It's about acknowledging that you've reached a stage in your life where you've earned the right to prioritize your own well-being, your own passions, and your own inner peace. And that's not selfish, it's self-care. It's recognizing that you deserve to live a life that is authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling regardless of what anyone else thinks. So, I encourage you to take these ideas to heart, reflect on your own life, and consider how you can create a more fulfilling future for yourself. Don't be afraid to challenge conventional wisdom, step outside of your comfort zone, and embrace the surprising joys of independence. You might just discover that the best company you can ever have is the one you keep with yourself. Now, I'm curious to hear from you. Which of these reasons resonated with you the most? What are your thoughts on the idea of prioritizing independence in your later years? Share your insights and experiences in the comments below. I always love reading your perspectives and learning from your wisdom. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone else who might benefit from this message. Your support helps me continue creating content that empowers and inspires you to live your best lives at any age. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Remember, you are never too old to embrace new possibilities, to challenge old beliefs, and to create a life that is truly your own. Embrace the freedom, Embrace the joy. Ibi seiki betis hupipe richoy. And embrace the incredible journey that lies ahead. Until next time, take care and be well.